to guilt trip you. It's all to keep you on hook. It's all to manipulate you, control you, and extort things out of you. That's how things are in narcissistic families. So hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about the different ways narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or set boundaries. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So these narcissistic parents, breed for return. Let's accept the fact they did not bring you in this world so that you can have a life of your own and you can be yourself and do things however you wish and please. No, they brought you in this world solely to serve them. Yeah, I mean, you can say that they are into you know um, creating supply sources. They want laborers, they want servants with the same genetic makeup. That's how things are. um, you outgrowing them, you becoming independent, you becoming your authentic self is like a red flag. And they hate it. They want you to be a version that's compliant. They want you to be a version that just serves them, no questions asked. So these narcissistic parents, are pretty, commercial breeders. I mean, they're not parents. I mean, parenting is healthy. Yes, there are ups and downs, but parenting by default is healthy. Parents love you unconditionally. Parents' love and affection is not conditional. In a healthy setup, parents' love is unconditional. Their affection, their care, everything is unconditional. Nothing is strings attached. In narcissistic families, narcissistic household, everything is string attached. I do this, now you have to do this for me. If I do this, you have to let me control you. If I do this, you'll have to do this for me in return. So it's all strings attached. It's pathetic, but that's how things are. Now coming to the different ways these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or set boundaries. The first way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or set boundaries, they are going to tell you, after everything I have done for you, this is what I get in return. And this is basically to remind you of every sacrifice they have made, making you feel ungrateful for wanting space or independence. In healthy setup, parents are going to set you free. Son, this was the best I could do for you. Now you are on your own. We are there. You have our back. Let me focus on my retirement. You go ahead and make a life of your own. Yeah, I mean, but we are there. Don't worry, you are not alone. And that's how things are in healthy family. But in narcissistic families, they'll keep reminding you of the tiny bit of things they have done for you. And this will in a way make you feel ungrateful, for wanting space or independence. Yeah, so they have their own unique way to guilt trip you, back into the relationship. The other way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you, when you distance yourself or set boundary, is by playing victim. They act heartbroken, sick, or emotionally devastated. And all of this makes you feel like a terrible person for prioritizing your own well-being. I mean, they are parents, and if they are reacting and behaving in such a way, you start doubting your actions. You start believing that I was very selfish, I'm a terrible person for prioritizing my own well-being. Yeah, I should have prioritized their well-being. Yeah, so these narcissistic parents are expert in playing victim. Yeah, they are going to use their health, they are going to use their financial situation, they are going to use anything and everything up their sleeve to guilt trip you. Yeah, so that you don't distance yourself and you don't use boundaries, because distance, boundary is a red flag. Yeah, and this means that they are losing control over you. A supply source might run away, and that's not what they have brought you in this world for. They have brought you in this world to harvest supply, to fetch return. The other way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or when you set boundary is by using flying monkeys. They send other family members or mutual connections to shame you. They are going to reach out to you and tell you, well, your mother is so hurt, your daddy is suffering, how could you do this to your father? You don't care about their feeling, you don't care about their emotion. Yeah, so they use others to pass across the message, because they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to come out as a selfish, greedy person. So they send their flying monkeys. The flying monkeys, reach out to you and they torment you. Your mother is suffering, your mother is so hurt, she did so much, and now you're so selfish, you don't even call her, you don't even speak to her, you don't even do things for her. Yeah. So the flying monkey does the dirty work, and your covert narcissistic mother, your narcissistic father, they are there enjoying the show, and that's it. And you um, feel miserable, and then there is nothing else apart from you crawling back to them. Yeah, because they make you feel miserable, they make you feel like a horrible person, they make you feel horrible for prioritizing your own self, for setting boundaries, or for distancing yourself from them. The other way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or when you set boundary is by comparing you to the perfect child. So if you have siblings or other relatives, they might compare you, to them, saying your cousin would never do this to their parent. Yeah, to make you feel guilty. They are going to, give you example of some, XYZ, and they are going to tell you, you have got no idea. She never left the mother. He never left the hometown. He was always there to, serve his mother, and all of those stories, and all of it is basically to make you feel guilty, yeah, for using boundaries or for having distance between you and your narcissistic parent. Yeah, they are going to compare you with that perfect child. You have got no idea, your auntie's daughter, she's the perfect daughter, she's so obedient, she did not get married, she left her work solely for her aging parents. She's all the time there at the house and she's serving the parent. Hats off to her, she's an amazing daughter. Yeah, so in a way they are comparing you, and they are subtly passing across this message that, dude, you need to be like her, you need to ruin your life, you need to let go of everything, and you just need to be like her. In some of the cases they'll create these imaginary characters as well. Yeah, they're going to tell you, well, your distant auntie, an auntie who's been dead for maybe a long time, but they are going to give example of those individuals. They might not be like that, but these narcissistic parents are big time into storytelling and creating stories, yeah, based on lies. Yeah, so they are going to tell you, well, this auntie, you have got no idea, she sacrificed everything. You have got no idea, this uncle, your this uncle and that uncle, they did so much for their parents. And this is basically to compare you and tell you that you need to be like them. Yeah, whereas in reality they might not have done anything, they might have been absolutely opposite. But these narcissistic parents are big time into lying, big time into deceiving. The other way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or set boundary is by questioning your morality. They twist the situation to make you feel like a bad person, saying things like, what kind of a child abandons their own parent, or God will punish you for disrespecting your family. Yeah, so they will question your morality. Yeah, they are going to tell you, well, so and so verse says this, you need to respect your parent, you need to honor them. You will never be able to succeed in life if you disrespect your parent. You will have to honor and respect your parent in order to succeed in life. All that bullshit they are going to throw at you. Yeah, and this in a way is to question your morality. I mean, this in a way is to tell you that you are an evil person, you don't you know care about me, even God hates this, even God will punish you. So they have their own way of fear mongering, they have their own way of guilt tripping you. Yeah, so that you are on hook and you keep serving them. You feel guilty for creating distance and space between both of you. You feel guilty and you feel miserable for setting boundaries. Yeah, and they get to do the dirty thing with you, that is to control you, manipulate you, extort you, abuse you, and treat you like shit. And that's it, the cycle goes on. And the last way these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself or set boundary is with fake apologies and love bombing. So when guilt and manipulation don't work, I mean, if you're creating boundary, if you have distance between both of you, you know um, in most of the cases guilt and manipulation don't work. Yeah, they tend to weaken, they tend to fade. So then these narcissistic parents, suddenly, act nice. Yeah, they will apologize without, real accountability, or, they will try to, lure you back, into the toxic cycle. Yeah, by telling you, well, I'm going to give this property to you, I'm going to give this jewelry to you, I'm going to give this to you. Or they are going to tell you, oh, well, I bought this for you, I have, made this for you. Yeah, so they are going to love bomb you, all of a sudden give you more attention, call you on a regular basis, or they are going to come up with fake apologies, which is, nowhere, close or related to real accountability. They are just going to fake it. They are going to tell you, well, I know I was very rude with you, I'm so sorry. And you might fall for it. Yeah, I mean, you will genuinely, fall for it. If your parent, tells you sorry, you might feel that, wow, now everything is changed, everything is amazing, my mother has healed, my mother apologized, finally I've got closure. And only to realize that, the next day again you are treated like, piece of shit. Yeah. So, their apologies, their love bombing, it's very superficial. There is no substance, to their any, action and behavior. It's all to guilt trip you, it's all to keep you on hook, it's all to manipulate you, control you, and extort things out of you. That's how things are in narcissistic families. So yes, these were, some of the ways these narcissistic parents guilt trip you when you distance yourself, or, when you set boundaries. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.